All right, welcome back. Let's do another example. Okay, so here we've got our two functions here. We've got k of x, that's equal to x divided by the quantity x minus 2. We've got m of x, which is 6 divided by the quantity x squared minus 1. And so we want to find the rule that defines k circle m of x. Okay, and then we also want to state the domain. Okay, now notice they're both rational expressions. So here we have a restriction of x equal to 2. Here we have no, 1, right? We can't have plus or minus 1. Because if we have plus or minus 1 here, then we get 0 in the denominator. Okay? So now, what does this mean? This means what? We're going to have what? K of m of x. Okay? So m of x, what are all the values that can go into x? Or that can, of x that can go into m? Well, we can't have plus or minus 1. So anything except plus or minus 1. So automatically, 1 and negative 1 are restricted. So they can't be in the domain. Now, any value of m of x that gives a value of 2 cannot be in the domain either, because it can't be in the domain of k. So that means, is it possible that m of x can be equal to 2? And the answer is yes. If x is 3, or hold on. Oh, can we? Hold on a second. Hold on. If x squared is 3, so which means plus or minus the square root of 3. Okay, another way to look at this is, this is the difference of two squares too. So that's where you can get the plus or minus 1 as well. Okay, but we want to see if we can get a 2 here. If x is plus or minus square root of 3, then we'll get a 3 here. And 3 minus, hold on a second. No. We need, no, that won't work. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Hold on. M of x needs to be equal to 2. So this whole thing needs to be equal to 2, right? So if we solve this, let's just solve it. So I want to know what values of x will make m of x equal to 2. So let's just set it equal to 2 and solve. So if I multiply both sides by x squared minus 1, I get 6 equals 2 times x squared minus 1. And then if I simplify this, I get 6 equals 2x squared minus 2. And then if I add 2 to both sides, I get 2x squared equals, oops, that's a plus, 8. And then of course x squared equals 4, which means x equals plus or minus square root of 2. That's what I want. Okay, so if x is equal to plus or minus square root of 2, then we have a problem. Okay, so not only is 1 and negative 1 restricted, but x cannot be plus or minus square root of 2. Now, let's keep going and see what we end up with, okay? So we kind of worked backwards, we kind of figured out what the domain will be, but let's see what happens here, okay? So now I'm going to stick m of x into k, so I'm going to get m of x over m of x minus 2. Okay, now these are functions, not multiplication. Just be careful. Now I'm going to stick in m of x. This is what? 6 over x squared minus 1 divided by 6 over x squared minus 1 minus 2. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify this, so just take your time so we don't make any mistakes. So I'm going to get this into one fraction. So I'm going to rewrite the numerator, 6 over x squared minus 1, all over. Now this is going to become 6 minus the quantity x squared minus 1. Oh, 2 times 2. Hold on. 2 times. Excuse me, there's a 2 here. So it's going to be 6 minus 2 times x squared minus 1 all over x squared minus 1. So all I did was I got a common denominator here by multiplying the top and the bottom by x squared minus 1 and then combining the two fractions since they would have common denominators. So this is how I got this. Okay. Now I'm going to simplify the fraction. So 6 over x squared minus 1. This is going to be, down here it's going to become, I'm going to simplify this, so this is going to be 6 minus 2x squared plus 2 all over x squared minus 1. Okay? And now I'm going to simplify it further. So 6 over x squared minus 1. And then now here's what's going to happen. This is going to be 6 plus 2, which is going to be 8. So I'm going to get a negative 2x squared plus 8 all over x squared minus 1. Okay? Now, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of the bottom. Okay? So what's going to happen is now this is going to be 6 over x squared minus 1 times x squared minus 1 over negative 2x squared plus 8. And so these are going to cancel. And I get 6 over negative 2x squared plus 8. And then I can factor out the negative 2. Well, I'll just factor out a 2. So then it'll give me 3 over 8 minus x squared. Okay, let me just make sure I didn't make a mistake anywhere. Okay, so oops, give me a minute here. Sorry. I just want to make sure. Okay, so I got -3, let's see what we have here. What did we end up with? Oh, hold on a second. Oh, I knew something was wrong. So here, this should be 4. Right, okay. So, so this tells us that it can't be plus or minus 2. So we can't have plus or minus 2 in the domain. And we can't have plus or minus 1. So I must have made a mistake when I was looking at the when I was looking at the 2, when I was doing this, I must have made a mistake. Because 2, so obviously 2 here, so 2 can't be in there, right? But also we can't have negative plus or -1. So we've got 4 restricted values. And I want to say that let's see here, this would be anything that gives a 2 here. So if this is equal to 2, maybe, so this was, yeah, so this was 6 equals 2x² minus 2, which would be, oh, no, I think I did right. Yeah, I think I did that right. Maybe I'm just now recalling what I said. So if I do 2x² equals h, which is x² equal to 4, yeah, so we get it. We got the same values. I think I wrote it wrong. I think I might have said square root of plus or minus square root of 2, but it was just 2. So that's probably my bad, so I apologize for that. But yeah, so if we went back, so we still got the same answer. So if you compose it and then you look at it, you see that there's restricted values of x cannot be equal to plus or minus 2, but also we can't forget that we're restricted by x here because we can't have 1 or -1 here. So -1 can't be here, so it doesn't even make it into here. And then on top of that, any values of mx that give us 2, so which is plus or minus 2, will not work either. But anyway, so that means domain, our domain for this is going to be what? It's going to be anything except those 4 values. So it'll be -∞ to -2 union, and then -2 to -1 union, and then -1 to +1 union, +1 to +2 union 2 to ∞. So we end up with 5 intervals that we're combining, okay, because we have 4 restricted values. All right, and that's it. Have a great day.